All right, guys, I am back, and I am excited because I've had this for a little bit, and, you know, I'm sorry, I apologize, but I tell you guys, I get flighty. I move from one project to another, and this has been on the shelf waiting to be reviewed for you guys. I love off-grid knives. I love them. I deal with I communicate with the owner and designer of their stuff, Carrie, often. He is an amazingly cool dude. I think he's kind of a genius too with some of the stuff he has come up with, some of the stuff he's developing now that you don't know about yet, some of the stuff that you're gonna see shortly. And so he has made some of my favorite EDC blades, honestly. So this has already been opened because I just couldn't wait. I had to look at it. And so I'm showing you what it would look like if you took it right out of the package right now. It would be wrapped in cellophane, and you'd have these things in there. We're going to be looking at the Enforcer XL. And I know you guys want me to tear right into this box, but I want to give you a little history about this before we get into it. And you know what? I'll show you what we're dealing with. We're dealing with one hell of a knife right here. And how we got here, though, this is what I want to tell you about, because Off-Grid has a really nice product line, and they've got something for just about everybody. I really believe in this company. They are, for the most part, they're made in Taiwan, so remember it's the good China, right? There are some higher end stuff that is actually produced by We Knives. Great name. Yes, I know it is a Chinese company, but they do make fantastic knives. They do. You can't deny it. So they have a higher end, the Elite series, a higher end series of knives with great materials. So once upon a time, they came out with, now honestly, the name has changed once or twice, I believe. So this was originally Black Mamba, and then the Mamba, it goes by both names. M390, titanium frame. This is an outstanding EDC blade. I love this knife. Now this is in the Elite series, okay? This is it's a pricey knife, but again, I've said this 100 times. If this had a butterfly or a little spider on it, it would be 3 times the price what Off-Grid sells it for. This is an amazingly good knife, but for me, honestly, it's a little small. EDC size, great, but you know what? If you want a slightly bigger blade, like I like a little bit more knife in my hand, and you guys who watch the channel regularly know that. Then he came out with a more budget-friendly, I'm not going to say a version of it, but if you look, it's very similar in design. Very, very similar. This is the Viper. Now, the Viper has G10 scales over steel liners, a D2 blade. It's slightly different blade shape, yes, but you can see it shares a lot of family lines. And this is a liner lock instead of a frame lock, but it is still, like I said, I stand behind everything Off-Grid makes. I have been reviewing and giving great reviews to Off-Grid long before I actually knew the owner. Honestly, you can look back in the channel and see that. So this is still a very good knife, a little bit bigger, right? Very, very good EDC choice. One of the things I'd always said was, though, again, I wish that they had a slightly bigger model. And there's going to be by the way, he is coming out with a slightly larger version of the Mamba, which is going to be amazing. I can't wait. Fast forward a little bit, and we've got the Enforcer XL, which basically kind of takes the best of both worlds here, puts them together into this package, and I am just thrilled that we have this. So let's start with the outward appearance. This glass breaker is removable. So if you don't want it, you don't have to have it. I know a lot of people say, like, why would I need a glass breaker on my EDC knife? A lot of people are happy to have it. It's a feature you have. You can take it off if you don't want it. Remember, it's also a less lethal option, self-defense wise, if that's what you're looking for. Or, you know, if you're Doug Marcaida, everything is lethal. So, you know, his like whispering in your ear for him is lethal. But if you know how to use pressure points effectively, this can really put somebody down. So that's why I always call it like glass breaker / temple smasher. But you have that option there. You have your reversible deep carry clip, and This is a nice slim clip. Off-Grid does deep carry clips very nicely because they're deep carry. They are basically right at the butt of the knife. So, you know, some companies will do the deep carry clips, but like mount them over here, and I'm like, that totally defeats the purpose. But they put them right, I mean, it is the very definition of deep carry. So you get a nice deep carry clip, but it's slim. So you don't feel it in your hand at all. Nothing. No hot spot, nothing. Very aggressive texture on the G10 here. So whether the knife is wet, your hand is wet, you're covered in blood, you're covered in grease, oil, whatever. This is a really, really grippy, textury G10. Now, some people might say, with regards to the clip, which is a nice, tough clip, well, what if that kind of rips up my pocket? This is the great thing about having too much texture. And this all goes to knife mods and personalizing it. You can always take some, like, 400 grit sandpaper and give this a quick buff down if you want. You know, if there's not enough grip, there's nothing you can do about it. If there's just a little bit too much texture, you can always tone it down a little bit, which is good. But like if a knife comes completely smooth, there's nothing you can do. Well, I mean, unless you're really into grinding on it, but you know, if you make a mistake there, you're screwed. But you know, so this is real. I like this texturing, and if it's a little too much for you, just a quick buff with some 400, or if you want to baby it just a little bit more, 600 grit, and work it down to what you want. But I like it a lot, and it might be a little rough on your pocket, but I think when you break that pocket clip in, it'll be just fine. So reversible pocket clip for left and right, and for the first time here, I don't know if it's the very first time, but you know, we've got screws to fill in the opposite holes, so no extra gook is getting in there. Just like on the Mamba here, you've got a metal backspacer piece, which it looks classy, it looks nice, right? Flipper design. Simple construction, fit and finish on everything I've ever seen from Off-Grid is amazing. Perfectly centered. Let's go ahead and crank this baby open. Did that sound stupid? It really did. I'm sorry, I won't say that again. Oh, that's great action. The blade on this one is D2 because this is in a, you know, the sort of more affordable line, but it shares the reverse Tanto blade shape with the Mamba. So basically, it's exactly what I asked for in the Mamba. But more affordable materials. Believe me, if this thing was M390 in titanium, I'd have to change my pants right now, honestly. But again, a D2 blade when cared for properly, and this one is DLC coated, so it's, you know, it's got some protection against that rust and corrosion. Look how much knife you have in your hand, though. No matter what your hand size, this thing's gonna fit, and it's gonna it feels. Oh, this is everything I wanted. This is the knife I wanted so bad. So I would put this up against, honestly, you've got a carbon tool steel blade. You've got this very grippy handle. The weight is not bad. It's got a little weight to it, but it is not bad. And you've got a nice, relatively thick piece of steel, you know, for, you know, relative to the side, of course. I would honestly say, in terms of a deployment type knife, something that I would take into the field as my knife in my pocket or on my belt, I would put this up against the Benchmade 810, which is one of my favorite deployment knives. I think it's slightly, just a little bit thinner than, say, the 275 Adamus, but this has the feel of a knife you could take out into the field or you could carry on the job. Solid feel, you know? And there is enough room here, even though this is almost flush, there's enough room to get your thumb in there without any stress or whatever. The action on it is great. Bearings and shot. The action on it feels amazing. So it is, yeah, so this is a big chunk of knife. If you don't like big knives, you're not going to like this one, flat out. But if you like to feel a big solid blade in your hand, this one is great. So you can see we've got a, I don't think it's hollow ground, I'd have to look it up. It feels like a flat, not fat, it is fat, but a flat saber ground blade here. And I believe it comes in a satin finish and this coated finish. I like the coated. He's got like a blackout series that's really nice. But right out of the box, I mean, this thing looks fantabulous. It looks scrumtralescent. I dig the blade shape a lot. Lots of just nice, subtly curved belly for lots of slicing power. It is a very fine point. Wouldn't want to drop it on concrete or anything like that. But in terms of if you did need to penetrate for whatever, nice penetrating power there. And your blade thickness goes all the way practically to the tip. So you've got frontal strength for whatever you need to do. You see it maintains its thickness virtually all the way to the tip of the blade. So it's a strong knife. Strong knife. This is, and you know what? I asked Carrie, like, from the very beginning when he introduced us, I said, I love it. When does it come in man size? And he laughed. But he's like, you know what? I'm working on some stuff. I can't wait to see the larger size of this. It's not going to be as big as this guy, but it's going to be something kind of in the middle. But boy, this just feels. You know what? Hold on. I gotta get something. So here is my favorite 810. And would you look at that? You actually look. It looks like you've got. I'm not lying. It looks like you've got a sturdier blade than the 810. Size is roughly the same. Both reverse tanto, but you just, let's see. Blade thickness, you do have a little overall more thickness here, and it's hard to tell because they've got this swedge cut in and everything, but if you look at the tip thickness, it might just be a hair thicker there. M4, D2, they're both hard tool steels. If you want to compare price, well, you can't even compare price now because these things being out of production are going for ridiculous sums of money now. But I've always loved the Contigo. I mean, and this is not the one I've carried on deployments. That one's been babied, being refurbished and just sits around now. But this one, if I had this available at the time, I absolutely would have carried it. I really would. And I think it's a great option. I think if this was available to me in the military days when I was still heading out the door to go do the JOB, I would have gladly carried this. This is I love the feel of it. And yes, I am. I can't lie. I am not entirely impartial when it comes to off-grid. I really like off-grid stuff, especially having kind of a good relationship with the owner of the company. But I have that good relationship because I believe in what he does, and I know he's a good businessman. He's not just out to make money. He's out to make good products. Like, that's why I can't 100% say I'm impartial when reviewing his products. And I'm telling you guys that honestly. I know from dealing with him, he really cares about what he does and what he makes. He's not just a big powerhouse company out to make the best buck. He's really not. So let's go ahead and curly Q. I like curly Qs. Little tiny curly Qs. Very nice. I like that. Let's get us some 550 cord. And let's slice it. Very clean. No effort. No effort required at all. None. Let's do a pull through. Again, no effort. Fairly clean. Better than we've seen in some lately. And now I've got to get my little cutting board. Nice. I mean, just out of the package, razor sharp, ready to do whatever you need to do. And the action on this thing is just phenomenal. So here's your lockup. Big skeletonization in there, by the way, if you can see it. I can never see it here when I'm filming, but then when I put it on the computer, I can. On both sides, both the lock side and the show face. So, lockup, pretty good. Like we said before, centered. Ethan is going crazy in the other room. Lockup appears to not have changed. No stickiness. Still centered true. Action is still great. No blade play. I love this thing. This is phenomenal. I love it. I love it to death. Now, if you buy this from the actual Off-Grid website, I'm pretty sure you get free shipping. And it's good, like free 2-day shipping or something like that. So even if you're not an Amazon Prime member, which that's why I usually link things or like give you the information from Amazon, because I'm a Prime member. I like using Prime, free shipping and everything. But on Off-Grid's website, I'm pretty sure they give you free shipping. So I'm going to put a link to Off-Grid's website so that you can, if you're interested, you might as well, even if you're not a Prime member, you might as well pick it up with free shipping. You know what I mean? So I just phenomenal piece. It is, for some of you, like I said, a little bit big for EDC, but I cannot recommend Off-Grid enough. And I still, to this day, there are a couple people who have said like, oh, I got a knife, it wasn't great. But I know for a fact their customer service takes care of people too. So if you get something and it's not exactly what you want, you call their customer service. There's somebody who commented once that, about like they had a bad time or something. And it turns out they weren't even in the customer database. So I guess troll shit posting, whatever. Maybe one day in the future I'll do a side-by-side, something like Off-Grid at its price point. I can't believe I just used that term. People use that term very incorrectly on YouTube, and I know from taking economics. But at its price to something on like an 810 or 275 at its price, and I don't know if Spyderco has anything that really fits in. But anyway, maybe I'll do a head-to-head, side-by-side. So check it out if you want or not. I want to thank Carrie at Off-Grid who sent me this to check out. He also sent me, by the way, we're going to look at this soon, the Cayman EDC, which after we're done reviewing this, we're going to give this one away on the channel. Because I have a feeling a lot of people are going to be into this one. This one I think is going to be a lot more limited because of the size as to who can legally carry it and stuff like that, but I'm pretty sure the Cayman EDC is going to be good to go for a whole lot more people. So that's going to be a giveaway knife. I hope you enjoyed seeing this and you're as excited as it as I am. I'm super excited by this. Look forward to seeing your comments about this or anything you want to talk about, the brand or anything else. You guys are all absolutely awesome. I appreciate every single one of you. That's making me crazy. And I will be back again real soon.